people started coming to me for advice because I looked the part. Counselor's just like looking at me. I was like, hey, I want to change my major to fitness sports management. And she, like you could just tell, she's like, that makes sense.
Branson the legend.
That's what you call me. Yeah.
Well, that's what you put in my phone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for a reason. I'm working up to the legend part.
Yeah. I guess I now know your last name, but I'm never going to use it because if I post this, it's going to be
just Branson the legend.
Branson.
I'm gonna have to change all my tags.
I don't know why you haven't yet already. I mean,
I did it as a joke, and now it's just like. I'm surprised it's still there.
Have you done that multiple times?
I don't think so.
Or is it just me?
Yeah, I think it's just you.
Yeah. Okay.
I think.
That's funny. Okay.
I thought it was just like a one-off. I forgot all about it until you told me. I was like, oh.
I don't even know if I know. Maybe I noticed in the moment.
Yeah.
But I probably came to it later, and I was like, you text me or something.
Oh yeah. And you're like, which legend is this?
Yeah. Which legend is this?
So many in my contacts, I don't even know. So I'm glad I at least saved the first name.
Yes. Yeah, that's good because if you were to just put the legend.
Just that.
You should have actually. That would have been even funnier. Where should we start? Okay, let's start here. So we met a few years ago probably at a gym here in town?
Yeah, probably 4 or 5 years.
Something like that, yeah.
Because I moved to a different location 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah, so.
Only for probably 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't seen you since I moved to a different location.
Yeah, well, because.
So things have happened. Things have occurred.
Every time we try to get together, you have stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's never my fault.
No, never.
Actually, I don't even. I
feel
feel
like you've been out of town once, and then all the time.
Yeah. Well, also we try to get together once every 8 months.
True. Yeah, that is.
If you try to get together once a month, there'd be more opportunities.
That's true. Maybe we need to do that more.
But anyway, so we met a few years ago, and correct me if I'm wrong, but sort of connected because we have something in common.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Fitness.
Yeah.
Music.
I'm sure I approached you on the gym floor at some point in time, and then we just started bullshitting.
I think you asked me about my Oura ring.
Yeah, because I'm still wearing mine.
Yeah.
Although mine's a lot more banged up than yours, so.
Yeah. Well, mine's, it just doesn't seem like it's a lot more banged up because it's...
it's just the silver.
Yeah.
Whereas I got the
you
blacker one.
You got all
the bottom is silver from all the barbell knurlings that's rubbed up on it. So.
Exactly.
Eventually mine will be as silver as yours.
Or you just get a new one.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah.
Or that.
Or you might maybe switch to a Whoop.
I do have a Whoop.
You have a Whoop too?
Yeah, I just wasn't using it. I used it for a while, and I was just like, to have a Whoop and an Oura ring.
Yeah.
So I just kept my Oura ring.
Seems like you would do that for a period of time just to see.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Just a testing
I probably
thing.
did about 4 or 5 months, which was a good way. It picked up all the other metrics that Oura does, so it does need some time to get your averages out. But when I realized that's basically the same as Oura, there's a little bit more details as far as strain and stuff, but most it's the same as Oura pretty much. So I was kind of stick with Oura.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think gets nuanced when maybe hopefully you know more about it than I do, but I think there's less freaking whatever dirty cellular MP whatever waves from the Oura.
Yeah.
Whatever the technical term
it's
for that.
It's a smaller unit, so I'd hope so.
And you can do airplane mode.
Oh, that's right.
So maybe that affects it.
Yeah. Well, and I could wear this when I go swimming, whereas I don't know if the Whoop. I mean, hopefully I'm not terribly wrong on that, but I don't know if I could submerge in a Whoop.
Yeah.
For long.
Oh.
I have no idea. I know it's water resistant. I don't know if it's water death proof.
I feel like swimmers wear it.
Okay, that's good to know. Maybe I'll use it then.
Well, also disclaimer right off the bat, we're not experts here.
No, not at all.
So don't listen. Well, definitely don't listen to me.
The users. We are not the experts by any means on either of these.
Actually, we might find out you are an expert. We don't know. My audience and I, we don't know for sure.
Not at these options, but okay. Yes, I probably commented on your Oura after I had mine.
Yes.
Because when you get a new car, you start seeing the same car everywhere.
Yes.
When I got my ring, I started seeing other people with their same ring, so I was just I had to go.
That is the
see
thing.
What your opinion was.
It is a conversation starter.
Yeah.
I have not noticed. That's not true. I have noticed Oura rings, but I don't go talk to people
I
about
just
them.
noticed a girl at the gym today wearing a gold one. I was just like, that's a sick color, but
It is, yeah.
it's just like, but I mean, mine's already scuffed up. Can you imagine scuffed up gold? Like that's almost like a slap in the face.
Mine's actually a hand-me-down.
Okay.
I'm sad to mention this, but my mother and I have the same size fingers. Yeah. So I would have chose the dark color if I was buying it.
Yeah.
Well, unless I had the conversation with you first, because then I would have known it scuffs, and then I probably would have got sober.
That's a good point. Fair enough.
Anyway, we're kind of rambling. So I don't know what we're talking about.
So that's what broke the ice was our ring.
Yes.
And then we realized that we are also passionate for not only fitness but also music.
Yes, we are both aficionados.
Yes.
Of music and fitness.
Guitars, classic rock.
Even though I am in no way, shape, or form good at guitar, but
we're talking about passions here. That's all.
I know you used to teach people, right? Or still do?
Yeah, I used to teach out of my basement. I did not have a musical degree by any means.
Yeah.
But it was just a side hustle before I had kids.
Yeah.
I'm just every Saturday I teach 2 or 3 people how to play guitar.
Okay, well let's go there. Let's go. What's the background of Branson the Legend? I mean, we got fitness.
Yeah.
Personal training.
Yeah.
In some regard.
So do you want me to go background to fitness or background to music?
Let's go. Let's do both. What came first, music or fitness?
Music.
Music came first.
Music came first because I grew up with my mom being the DJ whenever we were on road trips or something, and she loved country music. So for like the first decade of my life, I didn't know that there was any other genre of music out there in the world. I was like, oh, country's music. Like that's just what country has. Sorry, I'm a hand stalker. Sorry, that's what the country has. The world has to offer is country music. And then I'm pretty sure it was my ninth birthday, maybe my 11th. My dad bought me like a very nostalgic to today's like a boombox in the early 2000s.
Okay.
Like played cassette tapes, played CDs.
Yeah.
And he got me like a whole stack of like classic rock CDs. Like this is all the stuff I listened to when I was a kid. You're gonna listen to the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like my mind was blown. It was like Aerosmith, Leonard Skinner, Styx, Eagles, Boston, like all of the like 60s and 70s rock was like, and I was like hooked. I was like, well, country's lame now.
Right. And this would have been what, in like 90s country?
Yeah.
Okay.
90s, yeah. So like you're getting your Toby Keith, your Tim McGraw and stuff like that, which they're great.
They're great.
But
to
transition to 60s and 70s rock, game changer.
Yeah, well, as soon as you go from freaking Toby Keith or Alan Jackson or Tim McGraw, and then you go into the triple freaking threat guitar attack by Leonard Skinner.
Yeah. Can't go back.
Yeah. Well, you can now, I think.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the first music I listened to was, but it was a lot of my dad's music, which was Southern rock. Leonard Skinner, or not just Southern rock, just rock in general. Leonard Skinner, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses.
Oh, yeah.
All the whatever, Blackfoot.
Yeah.
But then also my mom used to be into like the grunge rock and like the early to mid 2010s rock. So you're talking Nickelback, Creed, Three Doors Down, Hinder. I think Hinder rocks. I don't care.
Yeah, Hinder's great.
So it's kind of been like mostly rock, but I love country music at the same time.
Yeah, that was just the root of it was rock there, and then naturally that opens up the doors to later 70s and 80s rock. So then naturally I throw into your Motley Crues of the world, so all the glam metal, and then I just listened to that until I was about in middle school, and then in middle school I was in band and I played trumpet and I hated it, and the middle school at the time between classes they like played music over the intercom between classes, and it was based off of what students requested. So the student would request a song, and then they would just make sure the song was school appropriate, and then they play it. So this is early 2000s, 2006, 2007. So this was when Slipknot had released Psychosocial, so it was a new hit. And it was the first time I heard anything of like metal, like current metal. And I was just like, what is this? Like, this sounds angry.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it. And full disclosure, that was at the time that my parents were going through a divorce. So I was kind of an angry kid to begin with.
Right.
So it was like a perfect storm to get into metal as well.
Okay.
And now I just listen to everything that has a good, strong guitar riff.
Yeah. Well,
Because
you
of
and
that.
I have sent many songs and
Yeah.
artists back and forth.
Yeah. So pretty much anything with a good guitar is just like, whether it's some band that I've yet to hear from in 1960s, and it's just like they only came up with one album, and I was like, oh, like this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Or like what my wife calls "kill your family metal," where it's just like the scary stuff. I'm just like, yeah, this is good too.
Yeah. It's good to do heavy deadlifts too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a very wide range.
Yeah. You're probably not. Well, maybe I should ask this question. Are you going on walks with your family listening to,
No.
the death metal?
No.
No, those are just for heavy deadlifts.
For sure, yeah. And then in the same year of middle school, some buddies of mine that were still in the band, they were like, oh, like, we wanted to make, like, a rock band. And I was like, oh, well, I play trumpet.
Well, you played trumpet in school?
In middle school, I played trumpet, and I hated it.
I played trumpet.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Did you love it?
No.
Because I hated it.
As soon as it was mandatory. Well, band was mandatory.
Oh, okay.
And what we did was the band teacher chose your instrument.
What?
But we all basically got in a line, tried every instrument for him, and he goes, you're doing this, you're doing this. So I played trumpet for
He
2
was going
years.
for, like, more of the aesthetic. He's like, you look good with a trumpet in your hands.
Well, no, I think is because not everybody can play the guitar in a band.
Sure.
So he's got
I
to
have so many percussionists and so many of this and so many of that.
And I picked up the guitar and I didn't know anything. So
Yeah.
it was, you're going to play trumpet because that's simple-ish. Not really. Sorry to all the trumpet players out there.
I mean, I love like a good, like, I'll listen to jazz music here and there, and like it's one thing to listen to jazz and have like a saxophone come out because you almost expect it, but then you get like a jazz or even blues, you'll get like a trumpet in there, and you're like, whoa, like,
Yeah,
okay,
fantastic.
that's a good change.
Yeah,
So yeah, no, trumpet's very respectable by all means. It just wasn't for me,
right.
and I like to see all of my notes rather than just theorize.
Yeah,
Like I wouldn't be good on a trombone or
Sure.
anything else like that, where I have to like image like, okay, a certain hand pattern or position
Yeah.
equals this key, and
Yeah.
then I have to pitch my lips the same way. It's like, nah, I'd rather see all the notes.
yeah,
Which I think is why I like piano. I don't know how to play it. I fiddle with it, and I love obviously guitar and bass.
okay.
So when I said I play trumpet, and they're like, well, rock bands don't have trumpets in them. I was like,
Not yet.
well, then what do you guys need?
Yeah,
And they're like, well, we have a guitarist, a drummer, and a vocalist, but we don't have a bassist. And I was just like, I don't even know I don't know how to have a bass. I don't know how to play a bass, whatever. So I convinced my dad to go get me a bass. So we went to like a pawn shop that's still open to this day in Des Moines. I think it's called Easy Pawn up on the north side. We went in there and I grabbed this purple Ibanez bass and I picked that up and we played, and rest is history as far as that goes.
so we're going. Okay, so let me recap this. Make sure I understand. So we got country influences. Dad goes, "Hey, you're done with that. You're gonna listen to what I'm."
Yeah.
So now we're into rock.
Yeah.
Then it was early 2000s.
Yeah.
05, 06, something
Yeah,
like that.
something like that.
Your,
06.
Your friends want to start a band,
Yep.
and they won't allow you to play trumpet in the rock band.
Correct.
You should start a rock band now with trumpet,
With trumpet.
and then call all of them and laugh at them because you're wrong.
I would need a trumpet player because that's not me. Like if I picked up a trumpet right now, you could pick up a trumpet right now and play.
Yeah.
Okay.
One note,
Well, great.
because that's the only one I remember,
One
and it's
note
because
solo.
it's
The D chord.
the D. That's the
I
only one I
remember
remember
that. The D
because
chord.
because of that. That's the only reason.
That's right. Yeah.
Sorry, Mom, if you're watching this.
Yeah. And then I don't know. We played some talent shows and whatnot. Just typical middle school, early high school.
Okay, so you actually had shows.
Yeah. I mean, like I could count on one hand how many shows.
Oh, okay.
But we practiced all the time.
Sure.
And we didn't have any original music. We just played like the music that inspired us. Like I'll still play to this day. "Animal I Become" by 3 Days Grace.
Oh, dude.
So
I love that track.
like it's just such a like catchy
Yeah.
riff that I just anytime I pick up a guitar that's tuned down, I'm just like, well, gotta play this song.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. So and other songs like that, like early 2000s, like rock. I'm not gonna say metal, maybe lighter metal, but like radio friendly metal is what we played.
Okay.
Yeah.
Radio friendly metal. And nobody was writing songs. There was no originals at all.
I was,
You were writing songs?
but no one cared.
Yeah.
So,
Dude.
and then eventually I was just like, well, I feel like a guitar is going to be easier to play songs that I write by myself. Because it's hard to like, at least I felt it was hard to write songs with 4-string bass and sing at the same time and all this stuff. So then some girl that I went to school with was getting rid of her acoustic guitar. And it was like, I think it was a Jasmine, which is a very beginner guitar. Respectable, but very beginner. And I picked it up, and I think I paid her $100 for it. And I took it home, and that's where I started writing songs and learning string guitar, 6-string guitar.
Okay. And all self-taught up to this point.
Yeah, I think my dad paid for some bass lessons. He paid I think 4 or 5 bass lessons, and I went to 2. And I was like, I'd rather learn by myself. But
yeah,
I've always been a bad student though. Like any sort of instructor, I was just like, I want to learn this way though.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
my dad kind of wasted his money, but I'd never let go of the instrument. I just let go of the instruction.
Yeah.
But
I like to attempt to figure something out first before anybody tells me anything about it.
Yeah.
I am humble enough to come to you and ask for help, but I want to at least attempt to figure it out first.
I'm the exact same way. It's let me mess up first.
Yeah.
Before I ask for help.
Yeah. If you come to me prior to that, I would get irritated with you.
Yeah.
Like, why are you telling me what to do?
Yeah, I'm the same way. It was let me fail first, would you?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So when does fitness come involved?
I've been an athlete my whole life.
What'd you play in high school? Assuming you played.
High school was wrestling, football the first 2 years, but I was 150 and didn't really have interest in lifting weights at the time.
Okay.
And I was awful at football. I just wasn't responsive enough on the field to be first string. So I was just I played both sides of the ball, but I was just I saw the writing on the wall. I'm just I'm not going to get as much play time as I'd like. And I'd rather do sports that I've guaranteed play time, so to speak. So I continued wrestling in high school. And that was it through high school for the last, junior and senior year. But growing up, I tried everything. I did soccer, baseball, fell in love with did swim team for 4 years up until high school. And then men's swim team in high school was the exact same season as men's wrestling. So I was like, do I wrestle or do I do swim team?
You chose wrestling.
Chose wrestling.
Yeah.
But my dad may have been the bias in my head there. Cause not that my dad told me, you got to do wrestling, but he was also a wrestling coach for years. So there's probably some sort of subconscious bias in my head of I'll choose wrestling, but I'll choose wrestling so I don't disappoint my dad. But that's more hindsight. I didn't realize that till thinking back. And I'm like, oh, maybe that's why. But no regrets.
Well, and as of now, wrestling probably has more functionality in your life.
Oh, hands down.
In terms of...
And I still love swimming. I mean, it's a survival skill for sure.
Sure.
But...
So can wrestling be.
So can wrestling.
Self-defense skill, survival skill. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I can't wrestle a shark, but...
Yeah, no, yeah. If you mix the two, you're screwed.
I guess I can't swim away from a shark either. They'll get me.
Yeah, that's for sure. But so... I'm quite the hobbyist jiu-jitsu practitioner.
Oh, okay.
But I've been involved in jiu-jitsu for a few years now.
Yeah.
And so wrestlers are, especially if they don't know anything, are very tough. I also don't know anything, so they're even more tough for me because they can beat me anyway.
Yeah.
So
it's tricky for wrestlers to transition to that realm though, because wrestlers are taught to never be on your back, obviously, because that's how you get pinned. Whereas you don't want to be on your back in jiu-jitsu. Or I'm sorry, you do want to be on your back in jiu-jitsu. You don't want to be belly down. Right?
I think you definitely don't want to be belly down's not a good position.
Whereas in wrestling, it's okay to be belly down because you can work your way up from there.
Yeah.
But in jiu-jitsu, you do not want to do that. Yeah.
Sure. But the good thing with wrestlers in jiu-jitsu is I'm also not expert in jiu-jitsu, just so everybody knows. they're so good with like their body control and
Mm-hmm.
keeping their hips down, and their
Yep.
like that down pressure is horrible
Yep.
for somebody who like me who doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
And then like in terms of being on your back, I think some jujitsu practitioners would tell you they want to be on their back because that's where they're comfortable.
Oh, sure. Yeah. More
Which-
a good defensive position,
Yeah.
so to speak. Whereas,
And then others are like, no, don't be on your back.
yeah.
I think it's all personal preference.
Yeah. I've noticed, even when I was at a young age, compared to my other kids and friends around me, is that from wrestling, like you're just so more self-aware of your body.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I was learning another sport and the coach told me to, get in this stance or move your body this way, like I could pick it up a lot quicker than somebody that had never wrestled before. There's
Right.
just more proprioception happening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big word. I don't know what that means. But
Self-aware of your body.
just kidding.
Being in full control of your body.
Yeah.
Proprioception. For the listeners that didn't know what that word meant.
and me. I'm good with context clues.
Yeah.
There's a lot of words I don't know the actual definition of, but I know what you're saying.
Okay, we'll learn a new vocab word every episode of that.
Hey, I'll have you back on as many times as you want. Okay. I probably should have started with this, but like you're a certified personal trainer, right?
Yep.
Do you have any other certifications, any other education in that
Yeah,
realm?
I went to DMAC after high school and community college in Iowa for fitness and sports management. And then I got just a general personal training certification through International Sports Science Association, also known as ISSA, which is, I'd say, top 5 as far as associations for certifications go, next to like NASM or ACE. And then I did some continuing education courses through NASM, strength and conditioning, and then the other like smaller ones, but just as important, like nutrition and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's just CECs from here on out.
Yeah.
As well as just hands-on experience, obviously. But
Of course.
I was certified 9 years ago this month, actually.
9 years ago.
I didn't realize that until Facebook reminded me. They're like,
Yeah.
hey, by the way.
Facebook's great for that.
Yeah.
Facebook reminds me of a lot of people's birthdays that I need.
For
that I
sure.
need to know.
Yeah, especially family members.
Yes,
Like,
which I'm
well,
not good with birthdays.
Yeah, me neither.
But I'm getting better. The last few months I've been putting birthdays in my calendar.
Ah, smart.
Now I just have to check the calendar.
Yeah. Snapchat's nice, too, because there's a
Yeah.
little, like, birthday present next to their name. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, I just don't use it enough, which is an issue.
Well, if you're on Facebook, you're safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be right.
That's actually part of the reason I wanted to talk to you because I am currently trying to get some certifications as well.
Yes. Okay, I remember you mentioning this.
Starting to do my own thing.
Yes.
I'm going to end up focusing more on like the running coach certification
Yeah.
avenue.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got to get the certified personal training
Sure.
and then going through ISSA as well.
Yeah.
Obviously I got the nutrition and they threw in the strength and conditioning and now I got running
Nice.
coaching. So
Okay.
that's down the road, but yeah.
That's what you're working on right now, though, with ISSA right now,
Yeah.
as we speak?
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, I haven't started it, but
Okay, but you got it, yeah.
I'm in. I can
Okay.
start anytime now.
Sweet. I mean, I think it took me, I guess it was 9 years ago, so I don't really remember. I feel like it was maybe 6 months
To get
that it just took me to study.
in total all of whatever you got,
Yeah.
or did you only do like the certified?
Just the certification. So I didn't do nutrition till later.
Yeah.
But just the general certification took me like 5 or 6 months.
Dude, the dude I talked to he freaking bundled all this up and it was going to be like an extra couple $100 because they had the New Year's
Oh, yeah.
sale. And then it was, well, if you do these 2 courses, you're just going to pay another couple $100.
Yeah.
And then and that we'll throw in the strength and conditioning one for free.
So those are all separated for me. Those are like
Yeah.
a year apart for me. So
Yeah.
that's nice they did that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I got my I got my stuff like you did in like July.
Yeah.
So they didn't have any discounts.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I guess it's the basic.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So so the goal is my own business type thing. I mean, I might have to
Sure.
at some point work at a gym
We're going to start somewhere.
but anyway, where did you start then? So you got,
At the time of my certification, I lived down in Centerville, Iowa with the girlfriend at the time. So I just started training at like the local like Snap Fitness and YMCA. Mostly like, the little old ladies that just want to improve their balance. So like very basic to us at least,
yeah.
training as far as just making sure that Martha's safe on her feet and she can go up and down stairs.
You know what? That's actually really valuable.
100%. Yeah. And that's, you go to any gym, that's going to be the person that probably needs the trainer the most. is that so that they're not just,
Yeah.
they're less likely to hurt themselves. They're training more functional movements rather than just going machine by machine, things like that.
Okay. So I want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. So we got high school. You went to college for the
Fitness and sports management.
fitness and sports management. When did you get your certification? Was it after or during?
After.
After.
It would have
So
been.
what were you gonna do with that degree? I don't know if this matters,
I didn't know.
but you just
I didn't know if
that's
I
what you were
yeah.
interested in, and you went there.
Well, I originally went to DMAC with a major in graphic design
Okay.
because I was a bad student. My favorite class was art.
Well, of course. Yeah.
So naturally.
But you play music.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
So
just a creative mind in general.
Yeah.
Right. So
And you write songs.
Yeah. So I liked that creative aspect and freedom in an art class, obviously. And there was this one class my senior year. It's like an AP course for basically graphic design. They had it under a different name, but I loved it. I was just like, oh, like I get to like make logos for people and be creative and use like, negative space to create like letters and pictures all in the same space. And like, I loved that aspect. But the problem with it is that the course that we took was all like not digital. Like we would just like color and paint and make logos that way. And then we would go to college and it's like all like Photoshop and stuff like that. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm off with computers. Like this is a total backspin 180 on difference there. So then I found, distracting myself from the classes I hated. I spent more time skipping classes and going to the gym than like working on my education, obviously. So, and then people started coming to me for advice because I looked the part. I was like, oh, like maybe there's something here. Like, maybe I could actually do something here. So I changed my. It was like an epiphany. I should say maybe not epiphany is the right word, but an aha moment during my workout when. I don't know, probably after 2 or 3 times that someone came to me across the week time span that during the work I was like, holy shit, I should probably, sorry, I didn't mean to cuss there. But holy cow, I should probably change my major. And as soon as I finished my workout, I just like beelined it to the counselor's office, like sweaty, sleeveless shirt, just like got a mean pump. And the counselor's just like looking at me. And I was like, hey, I want to change my major to fitness and sports management. And she, like you could just tell, she's like, that makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
Like, okay.
I'm not going to fight you on this.
Yeah, that makes sense. So she did that and the rest, so that was...
So you were working out, people are coming up to you, what are they doing, asking advice?
Yeah, typically.
Because you're just jacked.
I mean, I didn't think I was jacked, but I guess I was...
Don't flex here. I don't want you to rip your shirt.
I looked good for a 19-year-old kid.
Sure.
And people approached me for it. Yeah.
This might be a side note, but how much did you weigh then? And how tall were you?
At the time, well, I was probably still 5'11". I haven't shrunk or grown. Probably, I graduated high school at about 150, 155. And I gained probably 20 or 30 pounds across 2 years of college.
Uh-huh.
So I was probably about 180, roughly. 180, 185, but lean.
Yeah.
And, when you're working out, your pump looks better than when you're not working out. So
sure.
That's probably why people came to me.
Yeah. How lean are we talking? Do you have a guess?
Single digit
body
fat for sure. I maintained that I don't think I was ever in double digits. I'd be surprised if I went back in time if my body fat was ever more than 12 up until probably 2014 or 15 when I changed. Maybe I should eat more and train for strength because I was reaching too many plateaus on strength. Because eventually that's just the case. You can train for hypertrophy and strength until you get to a plateau of like, okay, now you just need to like pick a lane of either staying lean and making minimal strength gains, or okay, you're gonna have to eat a little bit more calories and you might lose an ab or two, but you're gonna get stronger faster.
Yeah.
Because now you have calories to help. Like your macros are lined up to, you're gonna put on minimum, some body fat, but you're gonna like build so much muscle so much faster. And it took me that long to actually like say, I don't care about my abs. But there was a long vanity issue there.
How tough was that decision?
Yeah, there was a long time I was just like, no, I really like my abs. But I was also like a single guy. I was like, all right, I want to look good shirtless, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I married with kids, I could care less about my abs. It's like I just want to lift the heavy stuff and walk through doors sideways.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Do you walk through doors sideways?
I had a dream I did.
I like to say that I do, but obviously I don't.
If I mean, in the winter we're wearing like winter coats and like, you know,
No, I don't wear
backpacks and.
I don't wear winter coats a lot. I do layers.
Okay.
I'm not the big puffy guy.
I'm wearing like a Carhartt, but it's still a little bit more puffy.
Sure.
But
Okay. Actually, I wanted to ask you this question because you brought this up, the single digit body fat or the leanness.
yeah.
Well, we found out you've been pretty lean in the past. This year I'm gonna get down to 10% or less.
Okay.
Or less. I don't really care, but 10% or less. I'm gonna do this simultaneously while I'm gonna be training for a marathon.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah. And
I mean, it's.
I got a lot of things that are converging all at once,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
What would be your advice for staying as strong as I possibly can? Obviously, doing a 12-week workup for a marathon, and trying to get down to 10% body fat without losing much performance.
Yeah. That would be my main issue. Would be losing muscle.
Yeah.
Right. Cardio burns. I mean, to a degree. I mean, you look at any marathon runner or any marathon in general. Just try and pick out the bodybuilder. You're not going to see a lot of like jacked guys in a marathon, right?
Usually, yeah.
Very lean guys because they're burning so many calories, right? So I don't think getting to 10% body fat is going to be hard at all.
Right.
I think retaining the muscle is going to be hard. So you'll definitely have to figure out what works for your schedule and your body for recovery, lining up when your strength training should be, when your cardio is, how far you're running each day, and whether or not you're recovering enough to do both at a successful rate. So you're not getting worse at either one, so to speak. And then if you go on the diet side, you got to make sure you're getting enough protein, obviously, to support not only muscle retention, but hopefully some muscle growth, and maybe even some like amino acids that you can drink throughout the day, so that if there's a day that you're, clearly in a protein deficit or calorie deficit, at least the aminos are going to help, make the most of the protein you are getting.
Okay. Luckily for me, I'm not an elite marathon runner.
Sure.
So the elite marathon runners are obviously going to optimize their body for that
the running part.
I am not running.
You just want to finish.
I'm not. Well, I've already done 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I finished 3.
Okay.
I'm going for my first like consistent marathon. I've been plagued with some, like the first one I had some like the new runner. Well, it wasn't a new runner, but new marathon runner injuries. The tight.
Sure.
The tight IT band pulling the knee out, hips being weird, whatever. This last marathon, just in October, those were all cleared up, which was great.
Yeah.
So halfway through, I was consistent, rolling, right on pace, started cramping, which actually I was kind of relieved. Wow, I was upset because I'm like, I fixed all my issues. I should be cramping. But I was relieved because like cramping is okay.
Yeah,
I know how to fix that.
Yeah,
like
that's
it's
easy.
Not a big deal.
Yeah,
and I think it wasn't. I think it was less like electrolyte issue, more like muscle endurance type strength for going up the hills and whatever first.
Yeah.
So, luckily, like I said, I'm not an elite marathon runner. So, my protein per day never goes below 175.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
how much do you weigh?
Right now 178.
That's great.
Because to get to 10%, I mean, so I just got a DEXA scan the first week of January. I was 18% body fat. I carry a lot of freaking fat right here in my belly.
Same. That's
so stupid.
My like arms and legs are lean. It's just like that one chunk. It's just
right there.
Yeah.
So 18% body fat. I think I was 182 at that time, so I had like 34 pounds of whatever fat.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, I got down to 14% documented. I think got down to 12, but I didn't get it. I got a DEXA scan 2% before, whatever. But I also had 30 pounds of fat prior to that, and I dropped weight for another marathon. Okay. But I was losing. It was like 1-to-1, like muscle and fat, and I don't want to do that. If I could help it. Yeah. I don't remember. I don't have it documented how much protein I was eating or what I was doing, but I don't remember I remember that I didn't lose any strength and anything noticeable during that period. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what the issue was. I wish I would have documented more metrics.
Yeah, we'd need a lot more data to figure out like what went wrong, so to speak.
Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah.
So
like, do you plan on doing like a DEXA scan on like a monthly basis or something like that while you're doing this? Okay.
No. I'll do once I get down to a certain aesthetic look and weight.
Sure.
I'll be like, I'm getting close.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Let me go check it out.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'll do.
Yeah.
Like,
you could always use like the Omron scale that they have at Genesis, or at the club, I should say, the gym.
yeah, so I actually don't have a membership there anymore.
Oh, where are you going?
Yeah, I go to Crunch.
Oh, Crunch. Okay.
I mean, it's right by my work, and for the price,
Yeah.
it's like
It's like
fantastic.
super busy over there.
No.
Is it not?
Well, yeah, there are times, but when I go, no.
When you
Yeah.
You're going at like 5 in the morning, just.
Well, I go in the morning. I've gone at noon. I don't ever go in the afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, afternoon at any gym is going to be
Yeah.
rush hour. So
Yeah.
I take it with a grain of salt when people say that. But.
Yeah. It's nothing crazy, and they have a lot of stuff that I use.
Sure.
Some of the which I don't know. I've never been to the new Southridge one.
What stuff do they have that like that the Mill Civic location didn't have?
Well, functional aerosol bikes.
Fair. Yeah.
They actually have some of the curved treadmills,
treadmills?
self-propelled.
Yeah.
They also have the self-propelled farmers carry walking treadmill type thing.
Okay. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Those are pretty sweet. I
Yeah.
saw those on Garage Gym Reviews. And you ever watch that one?
No.
It's a YouTube channel, but not to drop things, but Garage Gym Reviews. He literally just reviews gym equipment. That's all he does. It's great. And
I should check it out.
And he did an episode on one of those. I don't know if it's the same brand, but it was like a smart concept. I was like, like I would have never thought of that.
Yeah.
I would just grab weight and walk, but
Yeah.
now it's on a machine.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Was it cool though? Like it worked pretty well
Yeah.
over there?
Yeah. I've only used it once.
Okay. So it worked so well that you didn't want to do it ever again.
When I used it, I was tired.
Exactly.
Let's not go back to that.
It worked good enough.
But also the gym, it has a little bit more space for sleds.
Oh, sure.
And so they have like 4 sleds. And then they have tons of, they have like the monkey bar type thing.
Yeah.
And they're all straight bars. So you got like 25 pull-up bars.
Nice.
At any given time.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah.
We have plenty of,
CrossFit type people or WOD type
Yes,
workouts type
yes.
stuff. Yeah,
that whole
for sure.
area is kind of like that.
Yeah.
You know, they got the pull ropes,
Yeah.
the heavy bags, the wall ball, whatever they put up there.
Yeah, like the little post or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Battle ropes. Yeah.
battle ropes.
Yeah.
That's the second time I've done that. So,
Tally market.
yeah. Don't hit microphone.
I was gonna keep score. I'm winning because you have. We'll treat it like golf.
Yeah,
the highest score loses.
I'm gonna need you to hit that a couple more times. You can't let me lose on my first podcast episode.
I'll throw you under your bus. That's good. No, so the new facility at Southridge Mall, Genesis Southridge, we've got turf now in a sled. But only one sled. So it's about 20 yards of turf.
You need to spend some money over there.
I know.
You're not you don't.
We could probably pull off 2 sleds. It's already a very crowded and popular zone of the gym in general. Like, people just doing like lateral work or ladder work or they're warming up or they're doing their high knees and butt kicks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then to put 2 sleds on each side of it, it's like I feel like it might be a little too crowded. So I don't know. We'll continue to see how one sled pull pans out, but it's 20 yards long. I'd say I guess I haven't measured how wide it is. Maybe 20 feet, 25 feet wide. So, I mean, a sled's going to take up about 3 feet, but on each side of it, then now you're losing 6 to 8 feet of room all the way down if you got 2 people using it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Cool. Gyms. Fun. I want to round this out before I forget. Okay, so with my protein consumption,
Yes.
you would suggest, correct me if I'm wrong, keep the protein where it's at least.
Yeah.
And
minimum.
just be smart of which training modality I'm utilizing at which time during the day or during the week.
Yeah. I so long as you're if you feel either too sort of workout or too sort of run, then maybe you either push yourself one way or the other on either mode, so to speak, or your sleep/diet is off, which is usually the case for most people.
Yeah.
But if your intensity's in check, I'm sorry, if your diet and sleep is in check, then your intensity probably isn't.
Yeah.
Like you need to either dial it down or dial it up, depending on how you feel.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like it's a weekly check, and it'd be like, okay, how did this week pan out compared to last week, to make sure that you're not going to plateau or even get worse, but you're also going to there's enough intensity in your workouts and your running program to guarantee, your body adapting to it, to make sure you're improving on both sides, or at least maintaining on the muscular side, since for right now your goal is marathon. But yeah, it's gonna have to be like a weekly documented thing for you, which is a good thing. You have your aura for your sleep.
Yeah,
And
I might be switching.
you might need
soon.
to Whoop.
Yeah,
And
just because it's.
you can have mine. I swear to God, you can have it. I'm not using it. I'll give it to you.
We'll talk about this off camera.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, as long as you can, I would document your sleep,
Yeah,
your diet,
I normally do anyway.
all your other stuff, and just and then if something's off, just okay, what did I do differently that may have thrown this off? Like, oh, I did one more set of deadlifts, and that's why my back hurts. Or I ran this much further, but my hip flexors are just tight as hell. So maybe I need to spend more time stretching and fix my stride or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. I have an issue. Like, I'm the guy that wants to do everything all at once. Because that's just, I don't know what it is. That's just who I am.
Well, that's a good.
I don't like. Maybe it's more like I don't want to not be able to do it.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to run 6 days a week, lift 3 to 5 depending. Then do some Thai boxing and some jiu-jitsu in there too.
Is that what you have been doing?
I've been doing quite a bit less jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
And I haven't really been running since my last marathon.
Okay.
But 2 years ago, when I was training for my first marathon, my schedule for months was I wouldn't run 6. I would actually run 3 to 4 days a week, based on whatever training program I found online.
Sure.
And then I would lift 3 days. I would do mobility, stretching, sauna, that kind of stuff 3 days.
Yeah.
Then I would also do 3 days of jiu-jitsu and 3 days of Thai boxing.
I mean, they're all helping each other out.
So, also though, that could been what affected my muscle loss.
Yeah.
Somehow.
It could have been too much.
Yeah.
For sure. And who knows what your protein was at then.
Yeah.
So.
I don't have an issue with eating. I would assume it's going to be over 0.7 grams per pound of body weight.
Yeah.
For just minimum.
That is a minimum for sure.
I'm a glutton.
Yeah. Same, dude.
So, well, you know what's funny? Okay, side note, I was just talking about this with somebody else. I can get real strict on a cut and be perfectly fine on a cut and drop freaking 20 pounds or whatever I got to do.
Yeah.
Bulking?
Dude, bulking
I don't
hard,
stay disciplined in not going too much. I just glutton it. I just go, yeah. And then I just add 20 pounds and this is all right in my belly.
It's tough. I can consistently meet because that's basically what I'm doing right now. I can basically eat my 3,000 or 3,300 calorie goal straight away, and meeting my protein goal. Monday through Friday I can do it. Weekends are just like a crapshoot because weekends are weekends.
Well, you have kids too.
That too, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm eating whatever they leave on the table, which helps the calorie goal, obviously. And I can stay consistent for about a month, and then after a month of now I just can I just take a day where I just want to eat what I want? You know what I mean? It's just as bad as cutting. People want to lose weight, and they're like, I have to eat this, or I can't eat that, right? Mm-hmm. Same thing with bulking is I have to eat more of this. I'm full. Or I just ate. Why would I drink a protein shake before bed? Stuff like that. Or I'm already in bed and I'm sleeping. And I'm like, yeah, I don't need that protein shake today. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I just want to keep eating. I can keep eating. I've eaten 15,000 calories in a day.
Oh yeah.
But that's all cheat meal. That's like
Yeah.
that's all like, oh, I just had 6 crumble cookies. That's 4,000 calories.
See, that's just it. It's easy to get there with carbs and fats.
I know,
But
it's amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's so easy.
Yeah.
But
The protein lacks.
the protein's so hard.
Yeah.
To not only hit, over 33 to 3,500 is kind of what my goal is.
Sure.
Is to eat somewhat healthy, because my wife's trying to lose weight. So like when we make dinners, like it's a little bit more like weight loss focused. I'm just eating bigger portions, right? So it's harder for me to reach that point. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna if I pick up gas, I'm probably gonna pick up a donut just to help me
Just get calories.
get calories in
Yeah.
because I'm burning them, and then it gets to the point where like, gosh, you're just like full all the time. I'm eating like 4 or 5 meals a day and like 2 protein shakes a day. I'm just like, I'll come home and my wife's just like, all right, dinner's ready. I'm just like, I'm really not that hungry, but
You got to do it.
I gotta do it
to bulk up.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. Does your protein stay at a certain level when you're bulking? Does your protein actually change? Well, okay.
For myself or in general?
Just for yourself.
No, I guess not really.
Yeah, I mean, how do I want to ask this? What does your protein do in a cut versus a bulk? And a bulk versus a cut? I mean, depending, if you have a certain weight you're trying to get to, I would imagine you bring it down or up to that weight,
Well,
give or take.
we would reverse engineer it from calories.
Okay.
Figure out what your calorie goal is first to make sure, especially for cutting.
Yeah.
Figure out what your calorie intake is, so you're in calorie deficit, and then figure out your percentages. So like if you're for example for you, if you're having 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight, that might be 25 to 30% of your diet, and then the majority is going to come from carbs in your case because you're burning carbs for your aerobic exercise. But then you go to more my side of if I were to cut weight, I'm cutting weight just to keep my strength and cut it because I don't run. My cardio is either swimming or sex. So
yeah.
So I'd rather just focus on keeping my protein high, and my other calories might come from fats or carbs, but I don't really care. As long as I'm in my calorie deficit and hitting my protein goal, I'm happy. Yeah. And that allows for a lot more diet freedom, regardless of whether I'm cutting or bulking.
Yeah.
But when I'm bulking at that, right now, my goal is at least 1 gram per pound. And then if I go over, great. So if I don't hit 200, then I'm drinking a protein shake before bed. If I hit 200 before bed, I'm not going to waste a scoop of protein shake.
Yeah.
But if I'm at like 180, then I'll drink a protein shake.
Yeah.
But if like my goal is 200 or more every day.
Yeah. Nice. And that's regardless of your cutting or bulking?
Personally, yeah.
That makes sense.
But like if I were to, let's say I did a cut and I did like a month worth of cut just to kind of track things out and see how I felt. And I did like probably 1,900 calories a day for me, maybe 2,000, probably 1,900 calories.
For a cut?
Probably.
Sorry, I'm definitely cutting you off, but do you like, are you going like from extreme to extreme? Like I bulk, next day I'm cutting and you go straight down to 1,900?
No, I'd go bulk, and then I would love to rather do like just like a strength phase, so to speak, or like a 12-week powerlifting program and just like eat to maintain and just see how, of the muscle I gained during this bulk, how strong am I? And just like tap into as much strength as possible with central nervous system and whatnot, firing off as many neurons as possible in the muscles that I now have that I didn't have months ago. And then I might do a cut. It's like, okay, at my biggest, I lifted this much weight. Now I'm going to cut, and now at my smallest, how close am I?
Yeah.
And then you can, on paper, write down how much weaker you are from the cut.
Yeah. And so what would be your bulking calories, give or take?
About 33 to 3,500.
So.
Mine, personally.
Yeah. So, or are you going, if you don't have the powerlifting strength type phase in there, are you going 3,500 calories on Sunday, then you're starting to cut Monday?
Oh, I see what you're asking. No. I would fade.
You titrate it down?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, which I guess that's what my strength phase is, or my strength phase would be.
Sure.
Would be like 12. I wouldn't really care. I would just pay less attention to my calories and just make sure, like, okay, I'm meeting my protein goal still, and now I'm just training for strength.
Yeah.
Because there's minimal strength gains in a strength phase. I'm sorry, muscle gains. There's minimal muscle gains in a strength phase because you're you're trying to just fire off as much muscular fibers that you already have. So you're doing more like reps of like 6 and under. So there's really not much hypertrophy happening. So that's why I really care less about the calories, because I know my muscles don't really need it as bad as I do when I'm doing my bulking phase, where it's a lot more hypertrophy focused. So that would be like a very relaxed step down from the 3,500 goal to more like the 1,900 goal.
Yeah.
But for the average American that just wants to go straight from bulking to cutting, you would feel awful if you literally cut your calories in half. There's no way back from that.
Yeah.
So I would almost
don't do that.
No, not at all. No, don't do that, people. I would do 2 to 3 months of just a maintenance phase where you're just like, okay, let's just maintain where I'm at, and if I lose weight, I lose weight. No big deal.
Yeah.
But just get your metabolism comfortable with a lower number, and maybe if you bulked correctly, your metabolism is faster than it was when you started your bulk because you have more muscle mass.
It takes patience.
Lots of patience.
Because personally, I can tell you, it's if I'm bulking, which first of all, I'm already not doing bulking correctly because I just am a glutton. So then I add a bunch of belly fat, and then I'm like, gotta get it off right. Well, yeah. But I'm nowhere doing it correctly, and I know I'm not because I'm a glutton.
Yeah.
But one day I'll do it right. One day I'll be disciplined to do it right.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just want to get that belly fat off quick, so you just start. You're like, nope, cutting it.
No,
let's go.
Your hormones
Which
would
is
just
not,
go back.
Yeah, it's not good.
So awful. Your sleep patterns would go, you'd cramp so bad just because of your sodium intake would go down, and water retention, it'd be awful.
Yeah.
So baby steps for sure.
Yeah.
And that does take patience.
That's a smarter approach.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm a glutton too. I ask my wife, I'll eat whatever she gives me. Especially she bakes too. She'll bake cookies and stuff and whatever on a whim. She's like, I'm gonna take these for work. I'm like, I'll take half of them to work.
Yeah.
I'll eat the other half.
See, that's my thing. I'm not. There's no half. I'll
give the whole thing.
All of it. Yeah. That's why I think some of my friends probably think I'm weird if they go, hey, do you want this chip or something, or you want a little bit of these chips? I'll say no, because if I have a chip, I don't care. You can
never have one chip.
Yeah. Well, I don't care about the chip.
Yeah.
What's that going to do? Not much. It's when I'm leaving, I go home, I'm going to stop at Casey's and I'm probably ordering a Casey's pizza on the way home.
It's like your gateway drug.
Yeah.
It's like the one chip is my gateway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so people are always like, oh, let's go do this. Let's go. I'm in a dieting phase. I can't.
Yeah.
Because unless I get to a point where I have a cheat meal or something. But
that's true for any cutting phase though, because honestly, if you're doing cutting right and making correct decisions like you, it's gonna be a little detrimental to some sort of a social aspect.
Luckily, I'm not an elite bodybuilder, so
yeah, exactly.
I can afford
so much pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only pressure is on is me putting it on myself.
But plus with the running, the more lean you are, the less useless weight there is on your joints.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
It is better. And two, not even just in terms of body fat or anything like that, but certain things that you eat mess up your gut. Oh, and if you have a big run the next day, that's no bueno.
Yeah.
So it's hey, actually my friend just messaged me today and asked if I want to have dinner in a couple weeks. And I go, all right, yeah, great. And they're like, what do you want to have? And I'm like, well, the next day I'm starting a marathon prep. So I said meat and produce. Yep. That would be great.
Yeah.
Some sort of a steak.
So the day before your run, do you just do the typical marathon runner thing where you just eat a bunch of carbs?
No.
You're not going Fazoli's and just eating them all, just emptying their kitchen?
No, I have some gut things going on that I'm working through, trying to figure out, with some people, but so I do got to be careful.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong, I can still eat whatever.
Yeah.
But
so you don't know what the source is?
Source of my issues?
Your gut issues, yeah. Not to get too personal, obviously.
No,
you don't have to describe anything.
No. Not indefinitely. I don't. There's all kinds of different.
Yeah. If you're at a buffet, you know what not to eat.
Well, it's not even. It's not even that. I have not had to. I haven't delved into food allergies
Oh, I
yet.
see.
Like,
Okay.
there could be some issues with the root canal. It's got some infection, and that
Gotcha.
can
Oh, yeah.
cascade.
It's all connected.
It's yeah. So I don't know for sure yet. I've been working with a person doing some muscle testing, trying to figure out some different things. I don't know if you know anything about that world, but I don't really
I know of it. I don't know much.
I
But
can't.
know of it.
I
know it
can't.
exists.
Yeah, I can't really explain it because I don't know whatever. But anyway, essentially my pancreas was upset and not completely working properly, so I wasn't really digesting everything correctly, and then there's a whole thing. Yeah. Hopefully somebody on here will go, hey, actually it's this.
Like,
and
this
just
thing.
Yeah.
And then you can invite them.
It'd be great
to talk about it.
And
educate the masses.
Yeah, that would be amazing. So like my intra running nutrition wasn't really digesting well. So I was having a horrible time getting through my long runs on Saturdays, last marathon prep.
Okay.
So that also didn't help with my muscle endurance race day, because I really only had, I think 13 and under was fine. Like whatever days I was doing, anything under 13, leading up to it. Yeah, obviously it gets longer every week.
Sure.
I was fine, but then 13, I think my longest run would have been 24. So like anything after 13 to 24, those weeks, I was having horrible issues getting through those runs. So the last 4 to 6 weeks, I only had like one good run of 20 miles.
So what's your total mileage per week on average? Is it gradually increasing?
Yeah, it does gradually increase. Yeah. Typically no more than like 10% per week.
Sure.
But it depends too. Like, it depends on how many days I run. I mean, anytime I go out, it's going to be 5+ miles. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what that math is, but I mean, you're looking at 30 plus miles a week. Yeah. Whatever it is.
30-ish, 30 plus.
And like this next marathon prep, I'm probably going to run more daily instead. I'll have a little bit more time, but because that's a big thing too, is time. So like a hobbyist marathon runner, you can get away with 3 days a week, sometimes 4, but.
Is it always outdoors or treadmills, or do you have a preference?
Always outdoors.
Always outdoors.
If I can help it.
That's what I always hear is like treadmill's awful. Like nobody likes the treadmill. No marathon runners like treadmill.
The only reason I do a treadmill these days, and I don't ever do it, is if I want to like put myself in a box and like mentally just test myself.
Zone out and just
No, just like a test. It's like, can you stay on here for an hour?
Well, that is one nice thing about the treadmill, is that you are stuck with the same pace. So if someone had like a pacing issue, then they could train on treadmill for sure. Yeah.
I think you could, but I don't know. Does it translate? I wonder, because essentially on a treadmill, all you're doing is jumping up and down and picking, and the road is moving under you. The
road's moving under you. Yeah.
So I wonder if it translates. I don't know.
There's not as much like hip extension on a treadmill.
Right. Yeah, so you're losing some
glute out of it.
Yeah. And I already have that issue. My glutes don't. Like to activate much.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
If I need them to, I have to get the bands going.
I was gonna say, are your workouts wrapped around for that? Yeah.
What was the question?
Are your workouts, like your lifting days, dedicated to more hip extension then, to benefit your running?
Listen, of course they are.
Oh, good.
No,
that's what I would do.
Well, that's why I'm here.
If you were my client, Branson.
That's why we're here.
That's how we have to program.
I might need you to program. Just give me.
I'm like a total nerd when it comes to programming. Like,
that'd be great.
We could talk about diet.
I actually need a program.
I have fun about programs are fun. Like,
okay, so this is how I've actually. Okay, fine. I'll pay you.
Okay.
Assuming you were going to ask for money anyway.
I always do. Yeah.
If you weren't, I was going to pay you regardless. Just so you know. So like I would like to tell you, these are the workouts I'm going to do during this whole marathon prep. Essentially. Yeah. This is my goal, and then let's talk about how to maximize the thing. Yeah. Would you actually write a program for me? That'd be great.
Yeah. Now I don't know how long we're going to be on here.
We don't need to do it here.
No, I'm curious to whether or not we could cover that aspect on a separate platform, whether it's another podcast or something like that.
Okay. Like, let's talk about it. You write it up for me, or we can, however we do this, and then we can discuss the elements of the program you're writing, or write it like live on a podcast.
One or the other. Yeah. Or like I could even, which we haven't mentioned this yet, but I'd be interested to somehow regurgitate what we do through this blog that I've started.
Okay, good. You already mentioned it. I was like mentally
trying to like get there.
I was mentally.
How do I get to the blog?
I was weaving it in.
Yeah.
What is the name of your blog?
It's in very early stages because I've only posted one article 4 days ago. Anyway, it's called Lifting Standard. I always want to say standard first. Lifting Standard is what it's called.
Lifting Standard.
Lifting-standard.com is the site. There's one article that I titled Lifting Heavy is Safe, because there's
Heck yeah.
just a uncanny amount of people that I've come across in the fitness industry, mostly laymen, but mostly early on, or they are experienced but they've hurt themselves lifting heavy, and therefore they think lifting heavy is dangerous.
Sure.
Where in this specific blog I just described that lifting heavy does not hurt you. Lifting heavy wrong hurts you. Right. Lifting wrong hurts you, not necessarily heavy.
Of course.
Very rarely do I hear stories of people throwing their back out, lifting up the dumbbell before they do a shoulder press. It's always, I reached down to pick my grandkid up and my back tweaked, right?
Of course.
So they probably weren't getting in the same deadlift position they do at the gym to deadlift their grandchild off the ground, right? So,
or they could have improperly lifted weights that day, or weeks before, whatever, and then it finally broke on lifting little Jimmy up to give him a hug.
Yeah, fatigue finally caught up to him. So anyway, that's what the first article is about. But my goal for the blog is to just spread that sort of education to the masses. I really don't care if it brings income or has a huge following. Yeah. If I go to my data that the site gives me of how many people have clicked on it, and I see one person clicked on it, like I'd be set. Like, great. Like I've hopefully changed one person's intellect for the best.
Nice.
Because I really have no, like, as we were talking before we started recording, it's like I don't have a social media for it. I don't, and maybe I should still if I want to change more lives, but
sure,
like I'm really not as ambitious for that. I just love to write and like fitness, so why not write about fitness and write about educating, basically debunking a lot of things that I just experience on the job, so to speak.
Okay, so that is. Would you say is that the hope, or that? What do you want? Let's summarize this. What do you hope somebody gets out of your blog?
I hope that they read something to kind of remove the veil that the typical fitness social media tends to put in front of people. There's just a lot of bro science out there, and then rumors and other things that, if I'm sure there's a certain term for it, but if 100 people believe the same thing, all of a sudden it's fact. Right. It's like,
When social media is so messy anyway, because you always see the best. You always see the guy that is 6% body fat and got all this muscle, but however he did it.
He might be on a let's say carnivore diet, for example. Yeah. Let's say he's on the carnivore diet. Now all of his followers thinks that the carnivore diet is the one and only diet to be on. Yeah. It's like, carnivore diet's great.
Maybe it is for you,
but not for everybody.
Who knows? Okay, so he takes all these videos or these shirtless pictures. Maybe he just took thousands of them in one day, and he doesn't even look like that anymore.
That's exactly what. Yeah, that's
like
fitness models do that all the time.
Yeah.
Well, just influencers in general.
Sure. Which great, good on them. I mean, they're doing their deal and making money or whatever. Great, but it's
100%. So,
and in today's world where nobody wants
to go into a library. And they just want to gain information from.
Just tell me what to do right
internet.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I get. I don't.
Yeah.
I would
save time and stuff, but hopefully my blog pops up as the more accurate education that people click on and read and learn from and take away.
Yeah. Yeah, I relate with that because I started this whole venture here. I mean, it was kind of I'm already doing all this stuff anyway, so why not just document it?
Yeah.
And if anything ever comes with it, great.
Yeah.
But then also, I started writing on Substack, and my first actual post was the topic of, well, what if I just thought about writing something or posting something or shooting a video for somebody else instead of me?
Okay.
So like, instead of, oh, I'm already doing this anyway, what if something comes of it? Let me post this, let me write this for me or for a potential of me. Maybe it's like, well, I do this podcast episode for you to help the one person that you want to help.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I love
And
that.
it makes me feel a lot better, actually.
Yeah.
Like I'm less,
A lot more impact, a lot more.
well, I'm less like stressed about it.
Sure.
Like if it was about me, I'd probably be really.
That's why I'm just like super stressed right now. Can you see? Like,
Yeah. You are so stressed.
It's all about me. I'm just, spotlight's on me, man. I'm scared.
Yeah. But if it was about me, I would be nervous for this.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like just I would just be nervous because I'd be like, oh, I'm going to screw up. And it's like,
I mean, we already hit the mic how many times?
Yeah.
I've cursed.
Dang it.
You flipped the camera off. So it's like, we're doing great.
I did. Yeah. Sorry, Mom. I guess keep saying sorry, Mom. I think that'd be, speaking of me, I could be the subject of your next few blog posts. No,
Yeah.
just kidding.
Well,
but it didn't even have to be me.
No,
It could be marathon runner.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I would have been Brandon.
Have you ever trained a marathon runner during marathon prep, or not? Not just training somebody that's
not marathon, but a runner that I trained at when I was at the Mill Civic location. Yeah. I trained her for running, and I think she did the women's half, so I guess half marathon at least. But it's not my preferred, but I love a challenge.
Let's do it.
I'm used to doing the typical weight loss, functional movement, functional type training as well for somebody that's either recovering from an injury or, little old lady Martha. Those are like the top two for sure. Like the demographic of our gym is the person that wants to lose weight or the person that just wants to improve their functionality in life, whether it's from an injury or they're older or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then there's the fun side for me. That's the person just trying to lift heavy shit, which is what I love programming for. Because it's so fun to have somebody just like trust the process, which goes for any program, but to trust the process of strength training, which it can be a grueling process of like, gosh, I can do 5x5 again. Like, didn't I just do that last week? It's like, yeah, but it's like 2% heavier. It's like the client doesn't understand sometimes the baby progressions that are in there. But if they just like trust that and it's just freeing to me, like, okay, like they trust me to do this and like I get to design however I want. But I know that 3 months from now, they're going to be putting up like 15 to 20 more pounds on every lift. And then they just light up. Yeah. And like seeing that happen, I was like, yeah.
Well, you're going to like me because I love trusting a program and just doing X and O.
Yeah.
Like, I love that.
Well,
because I don't have to think about it.
Right, exactly. That's what I always argue. I was like, you don't have to think about it. Just show up and do it.
Yeah. So I started, I was experimenting with, do you know Dr. Mike Israetel?
Yes.
His RP
great.
Strength hypertrophy app.
Yeah.
And I love it because of that.
Yeah.
I can just I have to do whatever it is, 205 for 8 reps.
Do you think is it AI or is it just like what is it that adapts to you and your, like, is it AI or is his own patented thing?
There's some form of algorithm for sure. I don't know if it's, I think I've heard him talk about that he's trying to figure out something to do with AI. So I don't know if that means that he doesn't have AI in his hypertrophy app yet, or if it is and it's not fully, no idea. but actually I'm kind of like in an in-between moment right now. So I've just like threw up like a 4-week mesocycle of,
Yeah.
I went and found one of his templates on the app, and it's like the Superman template, the one that's like all chest, shoulders, back, and then the little legs.
Yeah, it's like one leg day in 2 weeks.
Actually, he adds like secondary muscle groups in like a upper body day.
Okay.
In this specific
Sure.
template that I'm
Okay.
so like, oh, you might mostly do chest, some back, and then I'm doing like a hamstring exercise and a calf thing.
Yeah. I've been curious about that. I haven't tried it yet, but I've been curious about the app. I was like, I have a hard time paying for apps.
Yeah.
That do programs.
Me too.
Because I do that.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to pay for a program when I can just design the exact same program. So the app that I've been using, which mind you, I've been doing my own program, but the app that I love for programs is called Boost Camp.
Boost Camp, okay.
Any coach could log on there and design a program and then post it to the public.
Nice.
So you could find my upper body, lower body split program. It's like a 4-week program that is intended to just repeat on loop.
Yeah.
And then you could also find another hypertrophy one that I've been doing that's 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. And then you could find another one that I have for strength training that I believe is 12 weeks. Nice. But you could just type in your goal, like hypertrophy, and then it would blip up any program that has this hypertrophy focus.
Nice.
And there's a desktop version, there's a phone version. So like I could design the exact same program on my phone, and then like it would be saved in my drafts, and then I could like pick up my laptop and go to my Boost Camp laptop site and just pick it back up, and then I can just publish it.
Are those programs set like rep ranges, or is it?
All of them.
Okay.
I can edit it, so I could edit either rep ranges or a specific rep range or to failure, and then I can also edit like either an RPE percentage or a percent of your 1 rep max.
Yeah,
it's up to the creator. Of
but it's like it'd be like I don't know what format it's in, but just pretend whatever PDF or Excel, doesn't matter. But there's not like an algorithm in it. Like it doesn't change by the numbers you input or something.
No.
Okay.
But it does pick up, like it'll tell you, I lifted this much weight for my bench for like 4 reps. Okay, well based on that percent, this is your projected 1 rep max. Mm-hmm. So it does that thing for you, which is kind of cool. Yeah. And then it also lets you know based on, you'll see it a lot more when you do it for longer. But if you lift a heavier weight than you did last time you did that weight, it'll tell you like that's a new PR. Like that you've never lifted that much weight on the app.
Oh, nice.
Right.
So is this paid, free? What is it?
There's a paid version and a free version. I do the paid version, but only because it has unlimited programming publishings. Yeah. And like I said, I'm not going to pay somebody to do their program, but I'll pay to post as many programs as I'd like because that's what I love doing. Yeah. But you can there's a free version where you can do whatever you want.
Dude, that might be good.
And then you could post. I think the limit's like 3. Like if you're not paying for it, you could post 3 programs of your own. And I think there are select programs that other coaches like want you to pay for them. Mm-hmm. And if you pay for the app, then they're free. But like mine, like you could find mine for free.
Oh, nice.
It's just out there.
Nice.
But
okay, I mean that's good too, though.
Yeah, it's solid. I found that from YouTube guy. Oh gosh, what's his name? He's a big like powerlifter guy. Anyway, he's usually sponsored by Barbell Apparel Jeans, which is jeans that I'm wearing right now. Yeah. And
plug.
Yeah. Not that I have a discount code or anything.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And then Boost Camp, like
I don't have a discount code.
Me neither. Yeah. But if you're on Barbell Apparel, there's shirts and stuff with his name on them.
Nice.
I can't remember the name though. I feel so bad.
That's all right. Figure it out.
I'm randomly gonna blurt it out here when I remember.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Continue.
Yeah, that's great. So what I'd like about, and I've never actually worked with a trainer, by the way, other than like in high school, and they're not a trainer; they're just your coach, but they don't actually know anything.
So you've never done like 1-on-1?
No.
Because like with a coach, it'd be like team, right?
Sure. Right. Yeah. Okay. Have I ever? No, I've never have, and. It's because I'm cheap and I don't want to pay you. Because I write a lot of times over the years I've wrote my own programs other than in high school when I didn't have to because it was football.
Sure.
And I think actually and I've wrote a couple other programs for people too, but they're fine. They're like good programs.
Yeah, they work.
But either I didn't have the knowledge, or I don't have the knowledge yet, or whatever. I'm not good at like what you were talking about, adding the 2% here, a weight here to do this.
Yeah.
Like, so that's why I like the RP Strength Hypertrophy app, because it does that
Does it
for me.
you. Yeah, that's nice.
But I still input all my exercises. Like, this is the first time I'm using a template that gave me the exercises.
Sure.
Otherwise, I've used it twice now. This would be my second mesocycle. The first one I just did my own exercises, and it would increase me somehow.
Sure.
It would, whatever. What's the term that I'm missing right now?
Like progress it.
Yeah, but what's the actual term for that?
For progressing?
Other than just progressing. But there's something.
Increasing the intensity? I don't know. My go-to is progression.
Yeah.
Well, then you fall into like the 7 laws of progression, which is...
what are the 7 laws, Branson?
I'm getting there. Got a notebook?
No, but I have a podcast that I can rewatch.
Excellent. Basically, the 7 ways of making an exercise either easier or harder. So either regression or progression. It's just,
well, we want to do progression.
So progression or regression is the obvious ones. Any guesses? How would you make something harder?
Well, we would go more sets, more reps, heavier weight, longer time under tension.
Beautiful. Yeah.
That's 4. There's 3 more. Hold on. Different grips. That's not part of it. That would just
that
be
might. Okay. So let's say I'm going on
8. 8.
No. This is one of them, but
Okay.
I'm piggybacking off that one.
Got it.
Let's say you go a wider grip
Okay.
let's go closer grip. Let's go closer grip on a bench press.
Okay.
So you're increasing your range of motion, which is number 5, to your elbow, which is causing more tricep activation.
Uh-huh.
If you wanted more range of motion for your chest, you might go a little bit wider on the bar.
Mm-hmm.
So you get more range of motion from the shoulder. So
Or, correct me if I'm wrong, figure out a way. Maybe there's the, whatever it is, the chamfered bar, whatever.
Oh,
you
yeah.
get a
Yep.
deeper.
Yes, exactly.
That also would be the.
So range of motion.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
number
just-
5. So we got sets, reps, load,
Dude,
range of motion, time under tension.
go past this personal trainer test right now. What are the other 2? Don't tell me. All right. Well, there's too much dead air. Just tell me.
If you're like standing on a Bosey ball, that's going to
Like balance. We're talking.
it's going to force you to work on your
The secondary muscles.
stability.
That's
Yeah.
stability muscles.
And you can go the opposite direction. If someone has a hard time squatting, you put box under them so they're more stable at the bottom position.
Interesting.
Okay, so you're just changing the stability.
All right.
And another obvious one is rest time.
Another obvious, he says. I forgot about that one. That's good.
Those
So like shorten it. Hello. Sorry about the interruption. My audio cut out, but I got it fixed quickly, so you didn't miss anything. While we're here, I just want to let you know, I'm not going to be doing these middle of the podcast ad reads. I'm not going to do that, but I had to fix the audio and I had to make this video, so I'm here. If you like the content and you're on Substack, please subscribe and follow. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And then if you're on Apple or Spotify or anywhere else, just leave a review, subscribe. It really helps. So back to the pod. Thanks. Okay. We're back.
So what did that leave off on? We covered all the 7 progressions, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We We just ended at rest time.
Excellent. Okay.
And I was asking whether that's so supersets, right? Shortening the rest time somehow.
Yeah, the ones...
Let me brainstorm something here. Could if you're able to go more intense in the exercise with a longer rest time, would that also count? Or no? Does that make it?
Well,
does that
make
make
more intense?
You just have more energy to go harder.
Okay, so your body has adapted to...
Yeah.
I'm
just brainstorming here.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing
yeah.
stuff out here.
I'm just wondering how
Probably not.
So you're measuring that you can go harder. So you're just realizing that you've adapted. That's all to a intensity that's already, or a progression that you've already covered. So like if you can do more, then obviously you're either your aerobic or your either your aerobic endurance or your muscular endurance has improved based on the program you've been doing.
Okay.
So I guess that's not necessarily, it wouldn't necessarily be a law of progression. It would just be the fact that you're getting something out of the progressions.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
If anything feels easy, like or I should say easy, if anything feels easier than it did last week, so to speak, then clearly something worked. Whether it be any of those 7 things.
Okay. Got it. Where were we going with that? Or where were you going with that? What was the...
We were just talking about programming and whatnot. Yeah. And then you were saying how you're doing your program and stuff like that. So I guess I brought it up because it didn't seem, or I guess it doesn't seem like for the example of the hypertrophy app that you're on, maybe there are other apps that have the same flaw, in my opinion. But if it's just, let's say you're doing deadlifts every single week, and the only thing that's changing is sets and reps and load. Then you're missing out on 4 other possibility ways of making intense so that you can avoid progression or avoid plateau. Sorry. So maybe eventually you might get to a point where like, you know what, Dr. Mike, I can't do the 2% rep rate, 2% gain here at the same reps of sets of 5. How can I still improve without changing the weight? Well, then you might reduce your rest time or increase your range of motion.
Sure.
That way you feel like you've actually gained something out of it and you're still challenging your body without changing the sets, reps, or load.
Yeah.
Which is usually what I like to tap into when I program, because anyone can change sets, reps, and load. Yeah. Not a lot of people think about the other 4. Okay. Like, okay, well, why am I doing a split squat with one leg on a foam pad? Because it's increasing your stability in your ankle and your knee and your hip. You might feel like you're a little old grandma in rehab right now, but do a couple sets and your hip's going to be on fire. Dude, by changing one thing.
The first time I slowed down my lifting.
Yeah, time retention, dude. It's wild.
Hurts. It's annoying. Yeah. You know, when it hurt, like if you don't do that before, it's like when it hurts, you just go faster. And it doesn't, exactly. It doesn't feel like it hurts as much.
Like, plus the set like lasts longer. Yeah. So you're in more pain for longer. Yeah.
Yeah. It's only been 3 reps.
Well, I'm at 3 now. God, yeah.
I'm never doing Bulgarian split squats again. that has.
I can't remember last time I did Bulgarians. I hate Bulgarians. I'd rather do regular splits than Bulgarian splits.
Right. Bulgarian split squats and burpees are probably.
Oh God.
They're made by the devil.
For sure. I don't.
Whoever Satan is making those 2 exercises.
Well, I might put let's say I made your program right now. I might put Bulgarians in there. I'll never put burpees in your program ever. Yeah. You're getting enough impact on your lower body from running. You don't need more impact.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. That'd be great. I'd love to.
Yeah. I would love to, like I said earlier, like document it and just talk about it. Not only on here, but also through like a blog or something like that.
That'd be great.
Like, this is what this marathon runner did, and this is how it impacted him. Yeah. I think that'd be huge.
That'd be great because I need it. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. What else can we talk about?
You said you had a template. I don't know if we covered all the boxes. I know we got ahead on a lot of them, though.
No, the template.
What's the score? Have you hit your mic enough times?
Well, I hit it once on purpose.
We won't count that.
Well, I will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. We can talk about this. When you started personal training, you said you started working at whatever gym you were at in Centerville, right?
Yeah, we've been Snap Fitness, 24-hour gym, and YMCA.
Okay. And so that was a lot of, how did you get your clients? Were they, the gym gave you the clients essentially?
Very rarely is that the case for most gyms. Most gyms are just like, oh, you're the trainer, like, go fetch, go
do it yourself.
Yeah, do it yourself.
So you may be an employee, but you treat it like a business almost.
100%. Yeah, that's exactly how it is. And even with Genesis Health Clubs, me being the fitness manager that I am now, where I hire and develop trainers, like if I meet with a new member and I sell them personal training and I commit them to some sort of program, not necessarily a new member, any member, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to feed them to my own trainers. Yeah. So in my realm right now, the trainer gets fed a little bit, but I don't know. I'd prefer 50 or less % of their clients are given to them. until they're self-sufficient, and then I don't know. Like they're too busy to even feed, and then they're totally good there. But in most gyms, that's not the case. So when I first started, it was usually just like anybody starting. It's easier to gain some clientele with people that already know you. So like I was training like coworkers or friends of, my girlfriend's family or something like that. Like start within your own social circle, so you don't already have to win their trust, so to speak. They already know you. All you gotta do is ask for the money, right? Which is probably the hardest part.
Sure.
But then it's cake. And then once they see progress, then it's easier to get referrals.
Okay.
So it's your own social circle, earning referrals from your current clients, and then another one is just people that are already at the gym. It's a lot easier to train people that are already walking in the door, rather than like, hey, I'm a trainer now. Come over to this gym that I'm training at, sign up for a membership, and then give me your money.
Have you dealt much with online training?
Not really.
No.
I'm just not a social butterfly like that. I'm social butterfly here, like face to face. I'll go talk to anybody about anything, but like,
It seems like that'd be better for you. Online training, clients
mean,
sending in videos and stuff.
No, I'd much rather be there in the heat of the moment, so to speak.
Yeah.
There's so many things, like I can't coach on one angle. Like if I were to be with somebody on the floor, I'm literally seeing like, I'm beside you, I'm behind you, like in the middle, unless I'm like spotting you for a heavy squat, obviously.
Yeah.
But before we go to the heavy squat, I'm watching you from squat from every point of angle.
Yeah.
Like we literally do an overhead squat assessment before we do anything else.
That's probably smart.
So yeah.
You wouldn't want to see my squat. My ankle dorsiflexion.
Like everybody says that. It's like, oh, you don't want to see me squat.
No, well, I would show you, but my ankle dorsiflexion sucks so bad.
Okay, so are you leaning too far forward then because your ankle mobility sucks, or you're not getting low enough?
Well, I use wedges, so I go all the way. I go all the way down.
Yeah, with the wedges for sure.
But without the wedges, I don't know. It's been a while since I've
you probably don't go. It's probably a little bit of both. You're probably a little top heavy and not going down far enough.
I mean, I definitely want to fold over like my.
Okay. Yeah. So the wedges work. It's a good quick fix to just like blast your quads and not worry about your form.
Exactly. Plus, if you delve into any of the like the knees over toes literature or all that stuff, then it's
reduce range of motion in the ankle, and also you get more range of motion in the hip. So I love doing those for like front squats because like you definitely don't want to lean forward during a front squat. So I'll go wedges for front squats.
I've actually when I was in like high school football, I hated front squats, but they're okay now.
Yeah,
a lot better.
I like them up. Before, so I gave you a tour of the house. In our garage, I have somewhat of a home gym in there. So we'll go in there as well. But I forgot about that until now. But
whatever, dude.
It's cold though. We have a heater. It's just not on right now. So when we go in there, it'll be cold. But anyway, before we had a gym set up, like the garage was up, but I didn't have rubber flooring. I didn't have like a rack. But I did have a barbell and some plates. So I was outside actually because we have like a flat patio of brick that's covered with some like AstroTurf, and I just lifted out there during the summer. And if I wanted to squat, I had to clean it first. So I would clean it and then do front squats.
That seems like a rough barrier to entry to do front squats. Dude, you got to be dedicated.
Yeah.
To do any squat.
They were some mean workouts though, dude.
Oh, I bet.
And like.
Well, I mean, you're going to get after it. If you have to go to all the trouble cleaning this, better get after it, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Dude.
I mean, not to say I'm front squatting like a lot of weight, but.
Sure. Yeah, just 405 pounds. It's no big deal.
Yeah. So.
You know what I found in the last 6 months that I actually like too? The Zercher squat.
Oh, yeah.
Like holding that weight right here.
Yeah.
Like my upper back has never been stronger since I started doing some of that.
Yeah, I've done it like once or twice, but like I think I'm just more of a little pansy about having a barbell on my elbows, but it's just not comfortable.
It is definitely not comfortable. And you probably want to go like heavier weight.
Yeah.
So,
well, and with deadlifts alone, like ever since, and I'm really not trying to brag here, ever since I lifted over 500 pounds, my back's never been the same. Like my low back is just wrecked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I see a chiropractor like once a month. It was once a week, but it's gotten better. So once a month now. I probably can't conventionally deadlift over like 200 pounds without reaping the feeling of my back just being worse the next day.
Yeah.
I feel great when I do it. I just did a couple weeks ago. I was just like, let's see how heavy I can go and feel good about it. And I just conventionally deadlift like 205. That was probably the heaviest I went. I was like, let's just keep it there for safety reasons. I feel good though.
What do you think happened on that deadlift?
Something
you moved the wrong way.
Yeah, there's probably, I guarantee you at the top there was an overarch at the top. Rather than bringing my hips under me, I hyperextended the spine. So back to my point of lifting incorrectly, not lifting heavy.
I was gonna say we want to qualify this to to not completely blow the credibility of your first one.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I guarantee that was the case. And I still have the video on my phone, and I can just tell that my shoulders go back just a little bit too much. Yeah. And I felt fine after. Like I dropped it, I got a little lightheaded, but just like any one max of a deadlift, you probably will get lightheaded if you do it correctly.
Sure.
But yeah, like ever since then, like conventional deadlifts, if there's like just more than 200-pound load at that hinge position, it's just like my low back is just, and I can, it's not muscular. I can feel some vertebrae are just stiff and cracky. I'm just like,
that freaked me out.
So after doing this probably a couple weeks ago, I did the 200 pounds, 205. For the next week, I just didn't feel right. There was just something's wrong in there. So I went to the chiropractor. He popped and cracked me. I'm good. I did some stretches. Stretch my hamstrings and glutes and low back out. It's all good just so that those didn't get too tight. But I'm no longer conventional deadlifting like over a plate.
Well, and
I'll just do sumo or something.
I mean, what does a conventional deadlift do for you? I mean, for you...
I mean, a deadlift in general.
You like lifting heavy, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of hypertrophy, are people getting a lot of hypertrophy out of it?
Not at all. Not at all.
I mean, could you if you did high reps?
You could. Again, more range of motion would be better too. Or almost like more an RDL or a...
Make it into could you make it into like a deficit, raise the feet?
Yes, exactly.
And like go real far down.
More hamstring out of it for sure.
Yeah.
Stretch the lats as well. Which again, for me, I think it's just more of the hinge at the low back. Where with a sumo, I'm a lot more upright and it's a lot more hip focused. So I'd rather just lift heavy with a sumo squat and keep my back heavy than do any sort of hip hinge and RDL and throw the back out. But that's pretty much the only issue I have structurally, luckily, from lifting. Yeah. Because 99% of the time I'm lifting correctly.
Yeah.
So luckily that's the only issue I have.
And you just, that one day you're like, I'm going for 5.
Yeah. And like I did, like it wasn't random. Like it was part of my program. Like today's max out day. I'm going
Do you put in max outs in a lot of programs or just mostly yours?
Only if it's your goal.
Yeah.
If your goal is to max out, then we're going to program to max out.
Yeah.
But if your goal is just to gain strength, then we're just going to pay attention to how the clothes fit in the scale.
I maxed out. I think I've maxed out once since high school on one exercise.
Yeah, if it's not a priority,
like I never used to.
I mean, it's not applicable in everyday life. Like, well, it's nice to know I can deadlift 500 pounds off the ground. Right now, I couldn't do that.
Right.
I'd obviously throw my back out. Right.
Yeah.
But it's just nice to in this conversation. It's nice to mention.
Yeah. Get that.
But I'm not gonna
that 500 pound club.
I didn't have it on my Tinder profile or anything. Like, would not suggest that. You'd get more dudes swiping right than girls.
Probably.
Or vice versa. But
yeah, unless it's.
Well, yeah.
Unless she's heavy.
I mean, hey, if that's your target, go for it.
She ain't a lady. She ain't 280.
That's right.
Or in your case, 480. Because Mr. 500.
Not 500 though. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
You can't. You can only do it once, and you're gonna hurt yourself if you do.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Right now. I'm just kidding. I'm not making fun of you because I'm gonna get nowhere near 500.
Like I said, I programmed for it, and I'm never ever going to run a marathon ever.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for doing it already 3 times.
Thank you. Well, I've finished 3 times.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
Ah, cool.
Your cat is freaking out. Or was.
He was. I think he's calm now, but
he is.
He must have napped earlier.
Yeah.
Then he woke up just.
He got upset right there.
He got real upset. I was like, "Where's Dad?"
Yeah, these mics picked him up so bad.
Did they? Yeah.
I don't care. I love it. You already cursed.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't care about that either.
I
don't know the rules.
I actually curse like a sailor, so I've been trying really hard not to.
I mean,
out of just respect. So I didn't know the rules either.
I don't either. I didn't read the rules of.
Okay. But yeah,
You're gonna demonetize me.
Yeah, in leisure conversation, I'm guilty of saying a lot of bad words.
Well, good thing I'm already not monetized. So.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, let's wrap up with this.
You need to have like a thing that you say at the end of every podcast, so everybody knows it's the end.
This is going to be the end. There you go.
Okay. What were you really going to close off with?
No, I was just going to ask. Maybe it's part of what you want your blog to be, but what is the main advice for somebody trying to be fitter, healthier in 2025?
I'm trying to think of something that applies to everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, when I work with people, when I meet people, there's two things that's holding them back.
Mm-hmm.
It's either their intensity, which is someone that's already doing it, or their consistency.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's their intensity, then they're usually not consistent with their intensity. So the number one X factor is what I call it. It's the thing that keeps you from achieving whatever it is you're trying to achieve. And we talked about it as well today, is the consistency. Mm-hmm. So I guess my advice, regardless of your goal, regardless of what you're doing right now, is if you want to improve, figure out how your body adapts and then just consistently, like, just follow through with program, diet, like whatever. Just like, it's got to be consistent because the body loves routine.
Well, not much more to say there.
All right, cool.
Branson, thanks for coming on.
Brandon, thanks for having me.
Everybody, go check out his blog. I'll link to it and his vast social media network. But I'll link to it in the show notes. I think that's what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah,
right?
that works.
Show notes?
Yeah, that sounds official.
Cool.
Cool.
Later.
Thanks, man.